All right, guys, let's talk about what we got going on today in Photo 3.4 and Photo 5.6. So, a couple things to remember. No photography Zoom class next Monday or Tuesday. There will be plenty of content for you to do on Schoology, as we will see later on. In-person school starts someday. That was supposed to say Monday, November 2nd, but it doesn't anymore. We'll talk about that after the video ends, and I want to answer your questions if you have any. And then, of course, if you haven't joined the Photo 3.4 photo class remind, please do so. Here's the info on how to do that. Text to 81010, and the message should be at 3B as in boy, 3GD2. So I'll leave this up for 30 seconds or so that everybody has a chance to do it. And then we will move on. Okay, let's move on here. All right, Photo 3.4. This week you had the Robert Capa Ed Puzzle, the Manual Exposure Ed Puzzle, the Manual Exposure Quiz, and the Manual Exposure 2 assignment. That seems like a lot, but it really wasn't. And then Photo 5.6, you had the October project update and the Adobe Max assignment, which hopefully you're watching right now. So let's take a quick look at these just to make sure everybody's cool with them. So here we are in our materials in week 8. Here's the 4 things you did. Robert Capa Ed Puzzle. Don't forget to submit a screenshot of your score. That's how I'm going to grade it. I'm not going to go to Ed Puzzle and look. I just want to see a screenshot of your score. Right, here's the Manual Exposure to Ed Puzzle. More of you have done that than have done the other one. That's awesome. Here's the Manual Exposure Quiz. Look at this, all 10 out of 10s. Hey, look at this. You can take this multiple times. Some people took it 2 times. Some people took it 3 times. I don't care how many times you take it. I just care that you keep taking it until you get 100%. Well done. And then the Manual Exposure 2 assignment. Technically not due until next Wednesday. I forgot about that. I did give you a little bit of extra time to do that. So feel free to take a little bit more time on that one. Remember, this is a photo with a shallow depth of field, a photo with a deep depth of field, and a photo with your ISO as low as it goes, meaning we're trying to take a very pure, very clean, very, I don't want to say happy, but a very nice photograph, whereas the photo with the high ISO is supposed to feel dirty and gritty and intense. This is the opposite. Whatever the opposite of dirty, gritty, and intense is, that's what you want for this photo. So, and again, that's not due until Wednesday, October 28th, so you do have a little bit more time. Let's jump into week 9. I'm excited for week 9. I did plan week 9 with the intention that we would be back in school on Monday, November 2nd. However, we're still going to do everything that was in here. Notice that I gave you 2 weeks to do our 2 photo assignments. So I gave you 2 photo assignments, but I gave you 2 weeks to do them. So let's talk about the first one, sunrise, sunset. Go out, grab your cameras, go out early in the morning or later in the evening and get yourself a sweet picture of a sunrise or a sunset. I've given you lots of samples with things that work well and things that don't work well in this assignment. So that should be able to help you out. And I even gave you a starting point for your manual exposure, but it could be wrong. And you also are more than welcome to just completely ignore it and be like, well, I'm going to do this. I have a plan of something I want to do. So feel free to kind of take this in your own direction and do what you need to do for that assignment. I gave you 2 weeks because, again, weather is weird and it might be cloudy and we might not have any good sunsets for 3 days. And then we might have 5 in a row and then might not have any. And anyways, I gave you 2 weeks to do this. So that should be plenty of time. And if needed, I might extend the due date if we just don't have any good weather between now and then. Your other assignment is an awesome photo of Southridge. And we're doing this for a future assignment that will be coming up. So you need to go out and you need to imagine that the school district has hired you to create a beautiful photograph of their school. So you have to be careful here because I've had students do this and they're like, well, I hate Southridge. I'm going to show a photo that represents Southridge, and they take a picture of a garbage can. It doesn't work. You can't do that because you're being hired by the district to take a great photo by them, and they're going to pay you. They're not actually going to pay you, but imagine that they are, but they're only going to pay you if they like the photo. So you don't have room to put your own opinion into this photo. This is a great photo of Southridge. So pay attention to your lighting. You want good lighting on your school. You might need to go first thing in the morning or later in the evening. Don't go at noon. That's going to be like the worst time of day to do it. Try to have an idea or vision before you start. So as you picture Southridge, like what does it look like to you? How would you shoot it if you could? And try to come up with a plan. You could also Google up some pictures of high schools just to kind of get some ideas of what other people have done to make it look cool. Try shooting from different angles that show different things. And remember, you don't have to show the entire school. Don't feel like you got to like go across the street and get on the roof of the hospital, although that would be pretty cool. You don't have to do that. You can show a smaller part of the school, but it needs to be something that represents the whole school. So you can't just like take a picture of the tennis courts because that doesn't work because Southridge is way more than tennis. But you absolutely don't have to show the entire school. You know, you could go into the front and take a picture of that Southridge sign that's right there by the front entrance with the school and the flag in the background. That's what somebody did a couple years ago, and it was a pretty good photo. So, and this is one of those assignments that might take you several attempts. You might go once and shoot for a half an hour and just not get anything good. So plan on maybe having to go back 2 or 3 times before you finally get something awesome. And again, we're going to use this for a future assignment. So you really do need to do it and try your best. And then last, I gave you another manual exposure quiz. Only 5 questions, super easy. So there you go. That's what you are going to be working on for the next 2 weeks. Let's see if there's anything else I was supposed to cover. Photo 5-6, you guys know what you're doing. Your stuff is on Schoology, and it's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to go over it for you. I'm going to end the video here, and let's talk, and I will answer any questions you have.